You know that feeling, right? You're in a high-stakes moment, a final exam, a huge presentation, the game-winning shot. You want to succeed more than anything, but the more you want it, the worse you perform. It's this incredibly frustrating paradox, and it has a name: choking under pressure. Today, we're going to dive into the science of exactly why this happens, and more importantly, what we can actually do about it. Forever, we've looked up to people who can stay cool when everything's on the line. Hemingway called it grace under pressure. We see it as the ultimate sign of character, of having guts. But as you're about to see, it has a lot less to do with guts and a whole lot more to do with what's going on inside your own brain. To really get this, let me tell you a story. Picture this. It's the 2004 Olympics in Athens. U.S. shooter Matthew Emmons has a massive lead. He is literally one good shot away from winning the gold medal. The whole world is watching. No pressure, right? So he takes the shot. And it's perfect, a dead center bullseye. But then there's confusion. His score doesn't change. In the single most important moment of his athletic career, Emmons had accidentally fired at his competitor's target. He dropped from first place all the way down to 8th. He walked away with absolutely nothing. So what on earth happened there? How does one of the best, most skilled athletes in the entire world make a mistake like that? This is the central mystery we're going to solve today. Why do our brains and bodies seem to betray us at the exact moment we need them to be at their best? To crack this case, psychologists have lined up 3 main suspects, 3 leading theories that try to explain the phenomenon of choking. Let's meet the culprits. Okay, so our suspects are distraction theory, which is basically about losing focus. Then there's explicit monitoring theory, which is, funnily enough, about having too much focus. And finally, over-arousal theory, which suggests you can just be, well, too psyched up. Let's break them down one by one. First up, distraction theory. The best way to think about this is to imagine your brain's working memory is like the RAM on your computer. It's the processing power you have for whatever you're doing right now. Well, when you're under pressure, worries like, what if I fail or what will they think of me, start opening up in your brain like a bunch of annoying pop-up ads, eating up all that precious RAM. And that leaves you with way less mental horsepower to actually focus on what you're trying to do. Suspect number 2 is explicit monitoring theory. Now, this one is for all those skills you've practiced so many times they're completely automatic. Think about swinging a tennis racket, playing a piece of music, or even just typing. Under pressure, you suddenly start overthinking every single little movement. It's kind of like grabbing the controls of a plane that's already on autopilot. You just end up getting in your own way, disrupting that smooth, natural flow, and your performance totally tanks. And our third and final suspect, over-arousal theory. This is based on a classic psychological principle, the Yerkes-Dodson law. And what it basically says is that performance gets better with a little bit of arousal, being alert and motivated, but only up to a certain point. There's a sweet spot. When the stakes get way too high, like an Olympic gold medal, that arousal goes through the roof, pushing you way past that optimal peak and right down the other side into anxiety and, you guessed it, failure. Okay, so those are the psychological theories. They make a lot of sense, right? But let's go a level deeper. What's actually happening inside our skulls? Turns out neuroscientists have found a fascinating tug-of-war going on inside the brain. So let's meet the 2 teams in this tug-of-war. On one side, you've got your executive control network. Just think of this as the calm, cool, logical CEO of your brain. It's in charge of focus, planning, and rational decision-making. And on the other side, you've got the salience network. This is your brain's emotional alarm system. It's constantly scanning and screaming, hey, pay attention, this is important, or scary, or exciting. And here is the kicker. This is what happens under pressure. That emotional alarm system, the salience network, it just goes into overdrive. It's shouting, this matters, don't screw this up. And at the very same time, the calm, logical CEO, your executive control network, gets totally drowned out. It gets pushed to the side. Your brain is, for all intents and purposes, hijacked by emotion. And this neurological event is the physical basis for all 3 of those psychological theories we just talked about. So it sounds like we're just wired to fail when it matters most, right? Well, not so fast. The story definitely does not end there. We are not doomed to choke. The real question becomes, if this is how our brains are built to respond, what can we do to fight back? And the answer, thankfully, is that we can fight back. The key is to develop what psychologists call coping mechanisms. These are active, conscious strategies we can use to wrestle back control and perform our best when the heat is on. And this is a really important point. Coping isn't a passive thing. It's not just about toughing it out. It is a conscious, voluntary process. It's a set of skills you can actually learn and practice to manage both the stress you're feeling on the inside and the pressure you're facing on the outside. So let's get to the good stuff. Let's build that toolkit. Researchers have pinpointed some really powerful, scientifically backed strategies that can help you short-circuit that joking response and actually thrive under pressure. Our first tool is one that sounds almost too simple to work, but believe me, the evidence is incredible. It's called expressive writing. Here's how you do it. Just before that big event, the test, the speech, whatever, find a quiet spot and for about 10 minutes, just write. Write down all your deepest fears and worries about what's about to happen. Studies have shown this simple act can dramatically improve performance. Why? Because you're literally getting those anxieties out of your head and onto the page. It's like you're closing all those distracting pop-up ads we talked about, which frees up your mental RAM. It's a direct counterattack on the distraction theory. Okay, strategy number 2 is a powerful mental shift. It's a little mind trick called reappraisal, and it's all about changing the story you tell yourself about the physical feelings of stress. You know the feeling. Your heart starts pounding, your palms get sweaty. Now, your brain can interpret those signals in 2 very different ways. The threat mindset says, oh no, my heart is racing, I'm anxious, I'm gonna bomb. But the challenge mindset reframes that exact same feeling. It says, okay, my heart is pounding, my body is kicking into gear, I'm ready for this. Just by relabeling those physical feelings as signs of readiness instead of signs of fear, you can actually improve your performance. You're taking that excessive energy from the over-arousal theory and turning it from anxious, destructive energy into focused, productive motivation. So here's the bottom line. Pressure is a part of life. We're never going to eliminate those high-stakes moments. But now you know, choking isn't some deep character flaw. It's just a brain process. And the best part is, it's a process you can influence. So the next time you feel that pressure start to build, you won't be a victim to it. You'll be armed with the knowledge and the tools to look that challenge right in the eye and meet it head on.